my review on Thor Ragnarok. So the movie opens up with Thor narrating his adventures to a skeleton in a cage. Cage pops open and we see this creature who is and Thor in one of the 9 realms, and he says like, son of a bitch, you're still alive. I thought that killed you. Oh, and it does like says this so seriously, like, oh, I cannot be killed though I fulfill my destiny of giving of starting of Ragnarok. And fulfill my destiny and Thor says, sorry, he's like turning around and the angel says, sorry, I really thought we were connecting there. So let me get, so I've been seeing these visions of the end of Asgard, and you're telling me Ragnarok. I'm going downstairs to get the food. Okay, Dad. Okay, Dad. And he says, wait, that thing is a crown? I thought it was just a big eyebrow. It's a crown. And I will start Ragnarok and start. And the Thor says, that sounds very intense, but unfortunately I'm going to have to bust out of these chains and rip that tiara off your head. And he says, how are you going to start? Because that's what heroes do. And he says, sorry, I timed that wrong. That's like, this is a side turn and like here we go, yes, and Neil comes and Thor busts out of change and takes on this army and rips the crown off his head and kills him too, and travels as to how now to summon the Bifrost and bring him back to Asgard, but Heimdall is not works to open the Bifrost anymore. It's this other guy, and this guy who's in another good comic book movie. He played Judge Dredd, who also played the Doctor from Star Trek, the Star Trek trilogy, the reboot, or it's kind of a reboot, but it's not really a reboot. It's like sort of like this elsewhere stories. It's elsewhere stories. So anyway, he opens up the Bifrost, bringing Thor back to Asgard, and he goes to his father's a play of Thor the Dark World's being put on, and to summon Loki's sacrifice they made for Thor, and for celebration of Asgard celebrating his sacrifice, and no one ever really, I don't see, actually picks this up in the movie, but the guy that he ripped the tiara off, he says that Odin is not in Asgard, and Thor has this looking, so he kind of figured put 2 and 2 together. So he throws the hammer and puts like his like Loki in front of him, and it says, "You know, nothing will stop me this time, right?" and then Loki says, "All right, you." You just couldn't leave it alone. Asgard was finally prospering when it says, "Where's father?" Okay, I'll tell you where he is. And he's in a building that got construction working on it. That got trash and people doing construction on it. And says, this is where you left him. And he says, and he says, "How was I supposed to know? I'm not a witch." "Really? Then why do you dress like one?" Thor says. And he says, "I can't believe you're alive. I mourn for you. And he says, I honestly thought you were dead." And he says, "I'm honored." So Doctor Strange helps Thor find their father. Odin is passed on and mentioned that Hel, the gods of death, her and Loki's sister, can no longer be in prison because he is dead. And Thor and Loki try to fight off Hela's gods, attempt to fight off Hela, and Thor throws his hammer and she holds it and shatters it into pieces. So bye-bye Mjolnir. And Loki summons a Bifrost, and Hela goes to Asgard, and Thor and Loki get lost in the Bifrost, and they're on this other place of another rounds called Sakaar. And there's this Willy Wonka reference, as Thor is actually it's the bold reference from Willy Wonka. And Thor actually sees all these colors and her narrating, and then it turns into like his house singing, and Thor's like, "Ah!" He's running in front of a bunch of people, including the girl that kidnapped him and sold him to the Grand Master, Jeff Goldblum. And he says the only way to get back to Asgard, the Grand Master says, is if you be his champion. And he says, "Fine, this day direct me in the direction of whose ass I need to kick." And he says, "I like that." He says, he friends him, and then Jeff Goldblum actually does this, like, takes the stick and it melts this guy. He says, "Oh God!" Ah. And Thor can actually get break free because he has this little device that shocks him every time he tries something. If he tries something, this is little electric shock thing. Basically, it's like a shock collar, and it's remote control. Actually, that's exactly what it is. Human shock call off. Anyway, Thor is looking at weapons and explaining his relationship with his Mjolnir to this rock creature. And this rock creature sounds like you had a family relationship with this hammer. And losing it was like losing a loved one. And And Thor says that's a nice way to describe it. Anyway, the appointment that he's about to face is Hulk, and Thor says, "Yes, we know each other. He's a friend from work." And Hulk says, "Hulk, Banner, you embarrassed me. I told them we were friends. I'll get you out, Banner. Don't wait." Please, I'm punching Hulk. Hoping that'll get him to calm down. Oh. It doesn't work, and when he gets the upper hand on the Hulk, he just says he does what Black Widow did and Age of Ultron, saying the sun's going down. I won't hurt you anymore. And Thor gets grabbed by the Hulk and gets being whacked around like Loki did in the first Avengers with by Hulk. And Loki's like, "Yes, that's how it feels." I'm sorry. I'm just a huge fan of the sport. And Thor it gets all powerful and lightning starts shooting out of him, out of his eyes and around his tight body, and he finally is a match for the Hulk. And he kicks the Hulk's ass. And this one it's really to get interesting. The guy, the Grandmaster buzzes Thor's thing, and Thor's sword. So Hulk gets the other by hand, and Hulk is about to smash his way onto Thor, and it ends with Thor grabbing the looks like trying to about to grab the Hulk's foot, and that's how the fight ends. So. And the teaser in the movie of who won went back and forth, and the both fight argue who won back and forth. Unless when it's Bruce Banner, because he doesn't remember. Because still in this movie, the Hulk and Banner have his memories up until Infinity War, and so anyway, he asks the Hulk where the Quinjet, how she got here, and Hulk points to the Quinjet, which is the Avengers, with the thing the Avengers traveling to, and which is what Hulk took off and at the end of Age of Ultron. So Thor goes to and steals the taser from the girl that sold him, and by having help from the Hulk, and he does this thing. He says, "You can drink, steal people, sell people for as long as you want on this at this dump." He says, "Me, I choose to run from my opponent because that's what." And he throws a dodgeball, a ball at the window, and he hopes he'll bring it, but just hit him in the head. And he says, "Because that's what heroes do." And he smashes through the window, and Hulk says, "Friends, stay!" And Hulk destroys the Quinjet while Thor is trying to get the Quinjet to start working by accident, just because he wanted Thor to stay with him. It is another fun part when Hulk is called the Stupid Avenger by Thor, and he throws the table at Thor. So anyway, video of Romanoff, Black Widow, comes on, and it calms the Hulk down, and he's Bruce Banner again. And he says that Ultron was 2 years ago, and he gets freaked out. Wait, I've been the Hulk for 2 years? And he says, easy, it's the sun's going down. Of course, that works on Bruce Banner when he says, the sun's going down. And he points out how he's wearing Tony's clothes, and Tony going, mine. He's not going mine. He's not here. I'll be Tony Stark. He says, no, you'll be you. He says, Tony doesn't even exist on this planet. And he says, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm freaking out. I'm on a different planet. But you've been to different planets before. That's a good thing. No, that's a bad thing. It gets my anxiety. He says, he says, okay, well, relax, Bruce, relax. Okay, we're going get the hug. So we're going to get you off of this planet, and we're going to go to Asgard. It's going off. He says, and he just like figures out what Thor's doing. That's not cool. You're using me to get the Hulk. You're not my friend. And he says, no, I don't even like the Hulk. He's all like, smash. I prefer you. But if I'm being honest, Hulk is a much better fighter and is useful in combat. And he says, yeah, well, Bruce, is he? Who actually, does Hulk having PhDs? No, this guy, fine, you don't have to fight anyone. But you got at least help me. Yeah, still help me get off this place. And so he has help from the Valkyrie that's sold him and kidnaps Loki and uses Loki as a peace offering. And Thor just throws a rock at him, make sure he was the real thing, wasn't one of Loki's tricks. So Loki's in to help get Thor off of back to Asgard, and they fight their way and team up and fight their way through these guys and with these cool blasters, and Loki ends up backstabbing, attempts to backstab Thor, but he backstabs Loki first and puts the electro thing on him and puts it on. He says, Loki, time is about growing. You know what I'm saying? You're always be the god of mischief, but you can be so much more. And so the zombie comes and presses the thing that set the call on, that also tests it off, and Loki decides to help this group out that is the rebellion, and decides to be their leader, and he says thank you, so they get on this other ship, and Thor and Valkyrie and Banner get on this other ship, and they take out all these guys while Banner's driving it, and they go through the Devil's Anus. Yeah, that's actually what it's called. The Devil's Anus. Anyway, they're back to Asgard, fighting off, Valkyrie gets her old costume back, and Thor's fighting Hell of the Gods of Death. And then this giant wolf that was brought back by the Hell of the Gods of Death and her undead army from the Eternal Flame, and it brings back all of her army and her pet, and Hulk, Bruce Banner decides to be the Hulk and says, "You want to know who I am? You'll see. I got this." and he's like, jumps out of the thing, and he like lands. You see him like flat as a pancake, and then Hulk the Hulk comes out, and then they takes down on this wolf and beats the crap out of him, meanwhile, Hulk is the ship gets wrecked, and Thor gets his eye gets his eye sliced out of him. And he says, "Now you really," and Hela says, "Now you really remind me of father." And says, you lost already. Even a blind man could see it." And she actually kills Thor, and Thor is brought to his father, and he says, "In with 2 eyes, you're going to see half of the picture." And she says, "She's too strong for me. I can't beat her. I'm not as strong as you." And he says, "Are you the god of hammers, or are you the god of thunder? The hammer wasn't the Thor slave power. It was help you control it. And you're stronger than me." And Hel says, "Tell me, brother, what were you the god of again?" And he does a blast of sun. This comes right to Thor, and he just takes out this Hel's entire undead army all at once. And Hel gets blasted when a bunch of swings a bunch of thunder, and it does it fights people while he's all electrocuted and charged up. And Hulk's still fighting this wolf, and wins, and Valkyrie and Hela's executioner, which was Dread, quits being the executioner and gets on to the plane the ship which Loki came to save Asgard, and says, "Your savior is here, Asgard." And Heimdall returns and is part of the rebellion of Asgard, and he saw him coming. And he says, "Of course you did." And so Thor comes up with his plan. He can't beat the gods of death, but he knows someone who can. Remember that guy they ripped off the tiara from? Well, he gets Loki to bring him back for the internal flame of the internal flames, and makes him be reborn, and figure out that his destiny wasn't to preventing Ragnarok, it was starting it. The destiny was so not this vision that he saw wasn't about him stopping Ragnarok, for him starting it. So he starts Ragnarok, and they all hate this idea, but they got him. They don't really do it. So he says, "I can't stop you, but he can." And so they all escape, and the executioner Judge Dredd decides to fight for Asgard and gets killed by the gods of death, and they all escape on the ship, and Asgard gets blown up, and Thor is now the king of Asgard, because his father told him that Asgard is not the place, it's the people where the people are. And Thor now has an eye patch now, and Thor said, I would hug you if you were really here. And for the rock says, and Loki catches it, says, "I am." And so these Thor says to Earth, and Loki says, "Do you think a very good idea for me go back to Earth? Probably not, but I'm sure we can work something out, figure something out." So, and then Thanos' ship shows up, and at the end credits, there's this little funny gag. It's Jeff Goldblum coming out of this spaceship and surrounded by all of these rebellion people, and he says, and says, give me a pat yourself all on the back. You guys did it. No? Okay, I will. This me? Fine. And that's that. He says, and that's Thor Ragnarok.